Hello, everybody. It's Superb to bring you a first-person replay commentary. I know I haven't done one of these in like forever, but there's actually nobody awake right now, and there's not too much background noise, so I thought I would just sit down and go over a solo pub that I played earlier. I think yesterday. I played this yesterday. The hero that I'm going to do today is Skywrath Mage. He got a couple buffs recently, and I think he's really good right now, personally. I've talked to Blitz about it a bit, and he still doesn't think he's very viable because the hero is a little too squishy, and he's outlaned by most typical mids, but at the very least in pubs, he feels really good to me. And he's also getting me a bit better at roaming and ganking, just because he does have so many good gank possibilities, and he has a pretty darn good skill set. So I can pull up to see what his overall buffs were recently, but dota2.com/heroes. Actually, I should just go to dota2.com because I want to see the patch notes. I believe he got a movement speed buff, was number 1. He also got a buff to concussive shot damage. Find Skywrath Mage. Alright, base movement speed increased by 10, so his base movement speed is now 325, which is really fast. Keep in mind, that's about as fast as like a Crystal Maiden with boots is. Crystal Maiden is about 385. So if we give her 40 movement speed, that'll give her the same base movement speed as Skywrath Mage. So with boots, CM is only 10 movement speed faster than Skywrath Mage, which is crazy. So yeah, his base movement speed is increased by 10, and his concussive shot damage has been increased by a bit. It's like a difference of 10%, 20% per level. So pretty good increase in terms of damage. Am I actually on the right person? Okay, there we go. So other than that, he's unchanged. So it's really not that big of a difference between what he was before and what he is now. But I'll go over the hero completely. I'm playing him in a solo mid role. I kind of play him a lot right now in solo queue pubs. I play him as support. I play him as mid. And it's honestly, he's pretty darn good. I think he's very good in pubs, at least. I've been having like tons and tons of success, like more success than I've had with any other hero in quite a while. So his strengths as a hero are basically that Arcane Bolt is borderline OP in certain situations. Actually, I kind of think the ability is overpowered. It is limited by the fact that Skywrath Mage's HP and armor is extremely low. But Arcane Orb is basically a very good nuke, and what it allows you to do is, with your really strong right click, which by the way is a range of 600, and your base damage is not that bad. It's a pretty big range of about 10, but it's a pretty good ability. 600 range, solid animation, and you also have the Arcane Bolt that you can cast every 5 seconds. So basically every 2 auto attacks you get an Arcane Bolt, which means that you trading with another hero is extremely efficient at level 1. And you can do this all while kiting. Keep in mind you're really fast now, so as you're chasing somebody down, you're probably going to be faster than them. You can continue right-clicking them at max range, and you can continue Arcane Bolting when the cooldown is up. So those two things together allow you to be pretty darn useful even at something as simple as level 1. At level 2 you get even stronger because you're going to have a skill point into Concussive Shot, and this is a 1600 range initiating spell that's going to apply a slow, and this further allows you to kite your opponent essentially. One of the problems with this with Skywrath is his base damage isn't that amazing. Keep in mind that the Tinker did go for a Null Talisman start. I think he went Null Talisman with let me just check his items really quick here. I think he did, yeah, he did do Null Talisman, so his base damage is actually about 10 higher than mine, 12 higher than mine. So last hitting is a bit tough against a Tinker. But on the bright side, I still do have Arcane Bolt here, and the Venge is going to gank for me, which is very nice of him. So I had to commit for that last hit. It took a lot of damage here. Oh, this part was great. I didn't realize I was taking damage from the range creep for like a really long time. If I wouldn't have backed up there, I actually just would have died. It was pretty crazy. Luckily, he had a DD and he was able to come around, so that worked out really nicely. Anyways, I'm level 3 now, so I have a huge level advantage over the Tinker. He's about to catch up slightly because his creep wave is under his tower. But with Concussive Shot now, if he gets out of position, I can apply 60 damage, which is already like a level 1 nuke, and then the slow is going to last for 4 seconds. And the nicest thing about this is it's so carefree. It is like so carefree because you basically just cast it if somebody's within range of you, and whoever the closest hero is going to take the Concussive Shot. Now the travel distance is really slow, but if you land it on the right guy and you use it from fog, it'll usually be hitting about the same time they realize that you're there, and then you can use this to follow up with a bunch of nukes. So this just becomes really easy because it's a huge range. It doesn't matter where you're approaching from. It doesn't matter if there's creeps in the way. You just kind of roll up, you can Concussive Shot, you nuke once or twice while silencing, and everything's great. And now since the creep wave is on my hill here, I can play really aggressive, especially because I have a bottle and he doesn't. I shouldn't be missing any last hits. It's a bit of a mistake, but at the very least, I can do some harassment here. Now watching this this time, it kind of looked like I maybe could have done some pressure here. Looks like there's a regen bot. Um, wasn't sure if I was going to get that one, so I wanted to go for an Arcane Bolt. And unfortunately, we actually didn't have Rune Wards up, so I had to do manual checks. And as you guys can see, he's actually going to secure that one. But it's not a big loss for me as long as I get all the last hits while he's gone, which I'm having issues with. I actually have horrible last hits right now. I have a lot of last hitting problems with this hero, actually. Probably just because I'm bad, but yeah, I really should be getting a bit more last hits on this hero. Generally, when I play him, I tend to focus mostly on just getting kills. That's one nice thing about Skywrath Mage against a Tinker, is that if he does laser you, you still can secure a last hit by using Arcane Bolt. So try not to spam Arcane Bolt too much. You shouldn't rely on it as much as Zeus does on Arc Lightning. Not that Zeus should rely just on Arc Lightning, but try to conserve some of your mana, because it does affect whether or not you can get a kill at level 6, and that's another big timing window that I'm going for. I can actually control him right now if I wanted to with my mana, but I haven't really been focusing on that too much here. Nice, got boots now. So now I'm running at 375, which is like ridiculously huge. Really big movement speed. I think this guy isn't really focusing enough on trying to last hit. He's, I don't know, I feel like he could be doing a lot better here. A bit of a weak performance from him. Let's check CS totals. He's actually equal with me. I should have probably about 5 more than him, but I missed quite a few easy last hits, so that's on me. This is the right skill build to go, by the way, in almost all cases. I've seen some pro players do a max Arcane Seal with only 1 level of Arcane Bolt, since the Arcane Bolt doesn't really scale that well. But the reason you want to max this out is basically to get the cooldown really low. It turns you into a bit more of a burst machine rather than just stay solitary. We saw the DD, by the way, so I was waiting here to let the Tinker think that he was going to be safe. And then that was really bad pathing for me now that I realized, but yeah, I did really bad pathing there. That was my bad. What I should have done is I did the correct thing in baiting, because I knew that the Venge, sorry, was at the DD rune, and she told me there was a DD rune there. So all I wanted to do was I wanted to sit there, and I wanted to wait until he got into a place where we could sandwich him. If I went straight for the rune, great, I get a rune, but what I can do instead is make him think that I'm staying in the mid lane. He's going to think that he can get to the rune fast enough, and then he's going to get a slight advantage over me, and then instead we can collapse on him, which is exactly what we did. But for some reason I ran into the river, and I should have just ran up the hill and then concussive shot it. It actually wasted a lot of my slow timing, because I spent like a second or two while he was slowed to run around, so that was pretty stupid. If the gank was a little bit less likely to succeed, then that would have been a really big mistake. I'll speed this up in just a second when I cover some of these points. So now I'm level 6. I have a huge, really nice start, really nice coverage from the Venge, and that's why it's so good to rune control, because you do get those opportunities. It could have been even something like, what if it was a haste rune? And it seemed, I don't know if this is the case, but maybe Tinker's ward was on the bot lane. Maybe Tinker didn't know what rune it was, so Venge could have grabbed the haste, she could have ran mid, initiated with a stun, and a place where he thought he was safe, and then I could just throw my combos and probably kill him under tower, because he's silenced, he can't cast anything, I can Arcane Bolt him, I can further slow him. It's all around like a really easy setup, and that's why I like Skywrath so much. The setup is really easy, so I feel a little bit weak on finding ganks, so having the ability to initiate at that range is really, really nice. Plus the movement speed is so high that I don't have to be perfectly positioned. I can make up for that with my high movement speed. So I think that's why I like the hero a lot. So I'm going to speed up now. I seem to remember this pause was really, really long, so I'm going to go to 8 times speed as we accelerate here. First item I should be aiming at after my bottle and my boots is going to be Arcane Boots. Some games I've been doing a little rough, and I went for a wand first just because I expected the trade to be a little bit less equal, I suppose, but this one should go okay. I really shouldn't use my DD here. I think this is a mistake. The reason I used it is because I wanted to bottle up the Venge. I've been trying to like raise morale by just like constantly bottling teammates and stuff. But what I should have saved the DD for is when the Tinker comes back and I could go for a solo kill. It's maybe not extremely likely because he has laser and that'll stop my DD damage, but at the least, like right there I wanted to go, but I lost the opportunity by just a moment. Taking tower hits like that is obviously not worth it, and I'm actually at a bit lower of an HP point now. On the bright side, my mana was actually low enough where getting my mana was low enough where doing a full combo is not going to be possible, because I actually need about 500 mana to do that with Arcane Flare, but I still think it was a waste for me to use my DD there. I should have bolted that one. That was a mistake. So mana's kind of low. I've got Arcane Boots money. I'm going to shift to the... change my mind. I thought about shifting there. We do actually see all these heroes in the bot rune. Wasn't completely sure if I wanted to show up to this, but it doesn't look like I had any interest. There's a lot of heroes over there. It's kind of hard to predict his attacks there. Looks like the Venge did end up dying. They got the clockwork out of it, so. I was going to shift top here. I pushed the wave out a bit. I'm going to grab Arcanes. I'm going to check the top rune, and then I can make decisions about what I want to do from here on out. But Arcane Boots are really nice. The rune is going to end up being bottom. It's a haste rune. Arcane Boots are kind of needed because as Skywrath you do cast a lot. And when I first played the hero, I thought that the solution would be just something simple like, oh, well, I'll just get Treads because Treads increase my mana pool. I can Bottle Crow, and oh god, I remember this part. Oh god. I saw this kill potential. I was like, oh shoot, I can like definitely get this kill. I was like, please stand in my... I thought he was going to go back towards me. That was pretty silly. Oh, I could have concussive shotted him. Oh, that's why I didn't kill. Okay. Well, prepare to be disappointed, guys. Boy, that was really, really bad. I don't know why. I could have concussive shotted the Rubik and I would have killed him, and then I could have ran all the way around the tier 2 or something. I could have ran like this way. It was pretty weak though. Pretty badly done by me. And I had a really big advantage, so me dying there was really crap. I knew that wasn't going to kill him. I checked his total HP. He had level 2 Wave of Terror, but he had like 2 more HP than it would have killed, so he should have approached first. But they had an Observer Ward there. They saw that I was coming, so they were able to shift over accordingly. But it was still my bad. I should have gotten that kill. I used the concussive shot at a time when he went invisible, basically. Like, that ramp is... You go invisible, basically, unless you're standing on the ramp. So, it was a really bad time to try to use my ultimate. It was really stupid. So, oh well. My CS is still, like, painfully low. You're supposed to hit about 50 CS at about 10 minutes. But I have a lot of trouble with heroes that are just single target, I suppose. On the bright side, my int gain is ridiculous at 3.6. This means that my base damage is increasing at a huge rate every time I level up. So as I level up, it's getting easier and easier to last. In fact, every time I level up, I get 3.5 damage increase. So after a very short amount of time, I'm already sitting at... I wasn't really sure why he was last hitting here. That was kind of confusing to me. But he was last hitting. I don't know if he was buying something. I don't know. But that was kind of frustrating. But yeah. Most times I play Skywrath, it's like this. I get pretty weak CS, and then I go around ganking a lot, which is probably a little too gank heavy. I should probably spend more time on getting kills. So there's a DD over here. I'm going to go try to pick it up. Looks like I might have to fight the Rubik for it, so I'm just going to put the slow on him. He was really slow on lifting me there, but luckily for me, I did enough damage with my Mystic Flare. So that's your basic combo. I did a little slow there, but use Concussive Shot to initiate, and then you do Mystic Flare to guarantee their silence, and they also take bonus magic damage. And then you drop the Mystic Flare on top of them. You'll usually get at least 75% of the Mystic Flare damage if you placed it correctly. I actually don't know if that guy has boots yet, and he does have boots yet, so, or at least he just bought them, I'm not sure. So there's a chance that he could have survived if he did a little bit of juke stuff. So what you should be doing is, as the Concussive Shot hits, they're getting ready to Mystic Flare. So as soon as, like, let's say I would run an Obvious Way. If I was the Rubik, I would run an Obvious Way, like, back up towards the Ancients. And then as soon as the Mystic Flare lands, you have to juke and go the other way. I probably would have still killed him with 2 or 3 Arcane Bolts, but it would have been a lot harder because Ancient Seal would have ran out. I would have only gotten 2 Arcane Bolts while Ancient Seal is up. And then I would have probably needed maybe 3 to score the overall kill. So it was a little dangerous me going for that kill, and I really executed it poorly, honestly. I did the Mystic Flare quite slow. And that definitely could have chanced my game. So he also had a rune over there, so I think it was pretty unrealistic that he was a little unrealistic that he went for that DD rune. So I do see the Clockwork is sitting at the tier 1 tower bot, so I decided to shift over. He doesn't have boots, he just has an urn. And I've got my ulti and I've got Arcane Boots, so I'm just going to walk right into him here and try to catch him. See if I can find him. And this is what happens when you cog yourself in, guys. You die. He could have used his ulti there. There's a chance he could have killed me, actually, if he would have hookshotted faster, but he only had time for Battery Assault as well as the cogs. So I maybe should have been a little bit more scared and done Ancient Seal faster there. I actually could have died. My HP is actually pretty low, and I have like no armor, so every right click he hit me for did full damage. So it was actually a little scary. I thought it was going to be not as close in that little fight, but it ended up working out. Yeah, if he would have hookshotted me, he would have done like 100 damage. I think hookshot does at level 1. Yeah, 100 damage, it would have stunned me for 1 second, and he might have gotten 2 right clicks in, and so I could have died there. I should have been a bit faster about the steal. Mostly it was the earn damage that I didn't account for. It's actually a huge nuke at level at this early in the game. So, considering his rocket is probably doing tops the same as 1 earn, so. So now we're waiting to see if we can open up on the Tinker. I'm going to open, oh, it's Axe, sorry. He's way too close. I was maybe even a little slow on that one, but super easy kill here. It's really important not to always show when you go into the lane, because obviously that Axe is way out of position. There's no excuse for him being that high up, but it still gives us an opportunity that we shouldn't have. And he was that close to our tower, we could come out of fog and initiate. And when you have a stun setup, it makes Mystic Flare even easier. I think I casted the silence a bit slow, the seal, because it can boost the damage coming out of Venge's magic missile, but I was a bit slow in that one. I should have casted that a little faster. Casting the Ancient Seal would have been nice. Extra damage from the Venge, and as well, yeah, just a bit more damage. But once he's stunned, the Mystic Flare is going to live out almost all of its duration, and then it's going to do a huge amount of damage. Just 600 magic damage. It's like a Finger of Death, essentially. Wanted to try to show up down here since Sniper was being kind of aggressive. And the other nice thing about Mystic Flare's cooldown is really low at 60 seconds, so. At this point I was checking for concussive shot range, and there I had it. But I did know that they spotted me, so. That's a Clockwork, so that makes things a lot harder. I just kind of want to block his hook possibilities with my illusions. So I really didn't want to get hooked. Yeah, they have a ward right here. So that makes things a bit harder. I'm just going to bottle up and steal the DD. And then I'm going to ditch. There's so many heroes there, it's probably not worth fighting. And the Axe is sitting mid, so there's a good chance that I can just go on him. There's the seal, there's the flare. My flare was a little too far back, I think, but it worked out okay. I don't know if I actually needed to use the double damage there, but those 2 kills were really big. That's why I like Skywrath so much. It's like his abilities to kill are so easy. It's just so simple for him to pick up a solo kill, and that's really, really nice. It's like you don't have to rely on your teammates at all to do something, so I think maybe that's why I like the hero so much. But I'm going to bottle up here. I think, I wanted to get a really fast Force Staff this game because I saw the Clockwork in the game, and I knew that if I get hookshotted and cogged in solo, I'm dead, 100%, most likely. We did see before that I was able to kill the Clockwork, but if there's a Clockwork plus any other hero, I'm 100% dead. Like, the hero is so squishy that you can't survive against that stuff. Unfortunately, that rocket scouted me out. I don't actually have my ulti just yet. Luckily, a little bit of vision from him, and it's going to be all okay. I just needed to put down 1 more flare, I believe. Maybe 2. Yep, 2 more flares. So, and that's the nice thing. You're so fast. Your hero is just simply so fast. Probably should have silenced him. Alright, it all worked out okay. His ability to escape was simply not there, so. And I got my Force Staff finished. Ooh, that's a sniper. It's kind of scary. And we're going to be able to get an illusion rune. Spotted a Rubik here. There was a huge pause. Oh, he dropped a ward there. Okay. This is why they had like perfect vision of us. I thought we were going to be able to kill this guy because it was nighttime and we'd surely be able to initiate him really easily, but we sat here for a long time and then we tried for it. But he was just warding. Oops, sorry about that. I should have been more aware. Anyways, he threw 2 nukes and he almost killed the Venge, sorry. So that was close. Good thing I bottled him up. He could have died there actually. I think he has Tranquil Boots though. I'm just going to give him another bottle charge and he's got Tranquils, so I'm just going to go back to base. I could have used that on myself, and this is one way that I might be playing this hero inefficiently, but I go back to base a lot on this hero, and you kind of need to because your ulti costs so much mana. Like if you do a full combo, I'm using, what, 575 plus about 220? So that's like 700, that's like 800 mana, which is actually 80% plus 1 or 2 arcane bolts. You spend about 80 to 90% of your entire mana pool just to do a combo. And that's with an arcane boots, and that's with a Force Staff on top of that. So it's not like I'm skimping on int items by any means. I've got 6 from these, I've got 10 here, and I have 250 mana from my arcane boots. I have a huge mana pool, and that's what you need to be able to kill. And I could still die very easily. As you can tell, I have 850 HP. I only have 2 armor because this agi gain is horrible. So as a whole, Skywrath has pretty weird stat gain. It's completely focused on int basically. But luckily I haven't had to use my Force Staff yet, and I've got tons of kills, and it's created a lot of space on the map. I don't know what my net worth is, and my net worth is actually the highest, but I should still have a bit more CS than this, I think. Unfortunately, I didn't quite focus on that as much as I need to. I figured arcane bolting these were more surefire than right-clicking them. But anyways, doing a mix of farming and ganking is really good, because then people don't always know where you're going to be. If you spend all of your time ganking, then they're going to try to react to that, for example. We're just doing a little dewarding here. Looks like there's an invis rune bottom. Should be checking for that. But it's one thing that I don't do nearly enough as a mid, is I don't like check the rune every 2 minutes no matter what without fail. I got pretty good CS there though. I'm pretty happy with that. And now I kind of have to figure out what I want to build next. There's a lot of different ways that you can go as a Skywrath mage, and I think I decided to try out Aghanims this game. I hadn't tried it before in a match, but I wanted to try it out this game. Before I talk about Ags though, I want to talk about all the other item possibilities that you can get. There's a lot. I think Force Staff first was a necessity, in this game at least. I Force Staff for that because I wanted to stack the camp in time, by the way. But I think Force Staff's a necessity against a Clockwork, first and foremost. We did know that the Clockwork was coming over here in Viz, so we're trying to adjust our plans based on this, by the way. We thought he could be swinging around behind us right now, so I didn't really feel comfortable standing there either. Wish I had time to talk about items. So instead, I guess we're swinging around or something. Oh, he rocketed? What the hell? That's really weird. And now he's way out of position. I actually failed my Ancient Seal there. Sometimes I have trouble with the ranges. What am I watching? Not watching very much. I don't think this was the right action to take. By the time I get here, he's like really far away. Yeah, the Ancient Seal range is actually fairly short in terms of the others. Like, concussive shot range is huge. As you can see, I can't show you with my mouse. It was like out here. It's huge range. Ancient Seal is like a normal cast, and Mystic Flare is about halfway between that. So it's easier to actually just concussive into Mystic Flare. But you kind of need the Ancient Seal most of the time, because it gives you an extra couple hundred points of damage. But I wasn't able to do that. Luckily for me, though, the sniper got way out of position. I was able to initiate on him from the high ground. So anyways, he's still dead. As soon as he ulties, he's pretty much fish in a barrel, and I'm able to blow him up there. I really like Mystic Flare though. It's a really cool ability. Okay, so other items you can get. Force Staff is definitely one of the possible Skywrath items. You can get Rod of Atos. Rod of Atos is really good on the hero. With Concussive Shot, they can still juke out of your Mystic Flare or only take about half the damage, which is pretty significant. So if they can juke the damage, it's a bit of a problem. Rod of Atos allows you, with Concussive Shot, to just absolutely guarantee that they're going to stay within the Mystic Flare nuke, unless they have a Force Staff or a Leap or a Blink or something like that. I was trying to stack these in time. I was having trouble like aiming my Force Staff the correct way. Looks like Sven got the sniper on the bot lane. Pretty cool, and I did get my stack off in time. It's just good to stack stuff if you're by, even if you don't plan on farming it. It's the best way to do it is look to see if you have a stun or stack killing hero, and then you can react appropriately. Actually found a Rubik instead. That was a really bad Mystic Flare, as you guys could see, but luckily it looks like Sven's going to clean it up. It's a good time to use my my haste. Yeah, he did end up dying here. Put a slow on the Tinker. Yeah, that ulti was really bad. No more battle hunger, hooray. What's going on? They still got the clock. Just gonna put a slow on him, and that should be his death. So, nice. Yeah, now the concussive shot's leveled out. Its cooldown is pretty low, 14 seconds. And I obviously had a haste in that fight, but it's so easy to run in and out of battles. Like, I was hoping to Force Staff him outside of the shot range. Swap actually doesn't disjoint projectiles, as you guys have just learned as well. But I was hoping he could get outside the assassinate range in time, but he actually didn't make it. Luckily, he didn't end up dying, but that was pretty much all I could do for him in attempts to save him, that is. I should have just bolted that one. Yeah, if you ever do Arcane Boots, you can drop your int increasing items, and it'll give you a slightly bigger ratio of mana. It's not a huge amount, but it's a little bit. I think I actually saw the illusion rune, and maybe I just didn't care about it. I can't remember exactly. Are these guys like trolling? What's going on over here? Okay, so Rod of Atos is an item. Force Staff is an item. I've seen some people get things like Yules. That was a really bad Force Staff. I was a little scared though. You can get Yules. You can get Dagon. I've seen Jo get Dagon before. When he plays mid Skywrath, he goes Force Staff into Dagon. The reason Dagon is fairly viable is because of Ancient Seal. So your Dagon will boost Ancient Seal damage. So instead of doing 400 or 300 damage after reduction, your Dagon is going to do 400 instead. So it just makes your int or your mana go a little farther in a way. I don't think his build was completely serious when he played it, but I think he went Force Staff into Dagon 5. It does very much so allow you to burst people down, and a bit cheaper than Mystic Flare, that's for sure. The damage Mystic Flare does is obviously much higher than Dagon is, but Dagon is definitely a possibility. So this game I decided to go for Ags because I felt like I wanted more damage output. I was already doing extremely well in terms of kills. Again, my farm isn't that fantastic by any means, but being able to kill pretty much everybody on their team is really nice. With Aghanims, what the Aghanims does is it reduces your cooldown heavily. As you guys can see, the Scepter cooldown goes from 60, 40, 20 to 20, 10, 0. So at level 16, you can actually ulti constantly, assuming you have mana, which you probably won't. We did spot a hero down here, and I saw the Venge in position, so I wanted to see if we could get a kill off. Come forward, guys. I think they were actually smoked here. But I think I backed up from the creep wave. I don't think they spotted me. I was a little confused about this one. But you should show up to kills if you can, like that. It's really solid. Pretty close to Ags though. The other really good thing about Ags is, again, Skywrath is really squishy, so picking up an Ags is all around a great thing. Even though it gives you 10 agility, that's still like an armor that you didn't have before and it makes you slightly less squishy. It's still like an extra 390 HP, that's good, and it gives you a bit of int as well. It's like it's all good stuff. The problem comes with the fact that your ulti is very easily countered by a couple things. And the things that it's countered by are Force Staff, it's countered by BKBs, it's countered by Blade Mills. Those are the main things by far. I was trying to figure out if I should show up to this, and then I realized I should really show up. I whipped my ulti here. I was not nearly safe enough about my ulti. I landed the slow, but he had just chopped, so that really increases his movement speed. And they were able to kill the Sven there. I definitely should have showed up to that fight earlier, I think. I think that's my mistake. At least the mistake that I made in this case. So I'm just going to bottle these guys up a little bit, because I'm maybe going to go back to base soon anyways. Actually, it looks like we've got a potential rune over here. I think the Avenge actually stunned somebody, and that's really who I should have aimed for. And I should have had the foresight to see that in the fight. I should have been like, oh, our stun is a Sven, and we've got Avenge stun. So I'll wait till they land their stuns, and then I'll Mystic Flare on top of that, rather than trying to rely on this slow. Like, little mistakes like that, it may not seem like a big deal this game, but if the game was closer, that could be something that majorly influences the overall scope of the game. So it's a pretty big mistake to do that. So I'm just going to try to finish my eggs now, since I'm so close. When you're at 2,600, you might as well. I don't know why this guy didn't wave a tear to the left, but I was really mad about it. I was like pinging it. I was like, are you gonna... It's like he obviously teleported, and he obviously blinked. If he had vision of him, I could have easily killed him. Like, easily blown him up. On the bright side, we get a sniper instead. God, that guy died. But it would have been nice to kill the Tinker. Tinker's a pain in the butt to kill. Skywrath Mage is actually pretty good against it. As soon as I get vision, if he can't blink at least, if he's on blink cooldown, I can land the concussive shot, silence, and then ulti him, and he'll just die. Especially if he's in a tree clump, because he can't move. So, anyways, we turn the sniper kill into a mid push, and this should guarantee my Aghanim Scepter. Especially when I get like every last hit. And I'll fly those out to me. Luckily my mana pool is still really high, so I don't actually need to be able to go back to base. Something I think people do a little too much when they get eggs on Skyreth is they shoot the eggs out too fast. And I think it's better to be a little patient with it. Because basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to kill 2 people in a fight. Before you're able to burst on one guy, then provide some nice support. But now it allows me to kill somebody, wait 10 seconds, kill somebody else. And there's also going to be some downtime between those 2 kills, which means that I'm going to be able to regen more mana. And be able to better afford the mana cost on bursting down 2 people. So I actually don't have very good mana regen right now, but we'll get there eventually. That'll be the next thing I purchase most likely. And getting into 16 is obviously going to be huge too, because then the cooldown becomes 0. So at level 16 I think I'll have enough for maybe 2 tops. It costs 800 mana at level 16, so that means I can cast exactly 2 Mystic Flares. Unless I get a bigger mana pool. So. Axe actually had a blink. I should have checked his items before I decided to TP there. That was really bad. I need to check items more often. They also have blade mails on a couple people, so I have to be even more careful about using my ulti. One thing I found out this game though is on the bright side is I'm buying so many tank items that blade mails are actually becoming less of an issue. If they had a blade mail, like timings are so important for Skywrath Mage, like it's so important. If they get their force staffs before I start snowballing, it is a huge deal because all of a sudden my ability to solo kill weak supports is gone because they can just escape it every time unless they get stunned by an ally. If they get a BKB before I snowball well, I'm just in a really bad spot. And there's the blade mail. Like I can't go on that. I could have maybe, but it could put me really low. So instead I just said whatever, I'm not gonna go for it. Blade mails, BKBs, force staffs, and that's basically the late game problem with Skywrath Mage, is that he gets countered too hard by a couple items. Some are BKBs, some are other things. So I knew that his blade mail probably wasn't off cooldown yet. I'd have to check the replay, but he used it over by the Ancients. It's about a 20-second cooldown, so that's why I felt comfortable going for that attempt. I thought I was going to be able to land it. I might be able to get one more here. That was a level 3. Oh, I remember this part. This is so dumb. Boy, was this dumb. I wanted that kill so bad because I was like, I should have this kill. Like, realistically, I should have gotten this kill. And then I went for it. I knew the sniper was standing there. I knew that I was going to die for it, and I went for it anyways. I really got to stop doing stuff like that. It's so dumb. I should have just let it go and complained about it, is what I should have done. Mech? Oh, he didn't grave. Should have just complained. Like, man, I should have placed my Mystic Flare better and killed that guy, and I didn't. I'm bad. That's what I should have said. Not like, I'm getting this kill no matter what, and giving, like, Tinker 1,000 gold. 1,100, or Sniper, even worse. Gave the carry 1,100 gold because I wanted to kill some support hero. Like, what the hell? I also could have Arcane Bolted as I did my Mystic Flare, but I thought he was just going to die. So that was my bad. I wonder if he has levels of his passive yet. Is that what's going on? He has a couple, but those are probably because I fed him, like, a buttload of experience. So, only myself to blame. Anyways, I am level 16 at least, so I can cast ulti a bunch, and it'll be fun. Next item is a bit contested, I would say. Generally, it's better to go for something like maybe a Eul's or a Hex is really good. Especially against Tinker, having a way to guaranteed lock him down from range is really nice, because that hero is generally a pain to kill. I think we're going to hang out by the Roshan area right here. I don't remember exactly why, but we were going to check Roshan. Everybody was pretty full mana, so I just was going to grab this. Generally, when you're smoking, though, it's better not to grab the rune, because it could tip them off if they're watching the rune spot. Luckily for us, we actually found a sniper here. I don't think he was paying very much attention. This should allow us to actually take Rosh, though. Pump my DD here just so I can help kill it a bit faster. If Sniper's not here, I don't think we really have to worry too much. Oh yeah, I was going for Ghost Scepter next, I think. Found an enemy hero. I think I could have gone for that. Hey look, I found a Tinker. Like, the damage is so good. Give him a little silence here. Put some slow on him. Spread the damage out across the team. Things go okay. So, I don't know if they got the Roshan. Oh, wow, they actually killed Roshan and they got the Aegis. That was pretty unfortunate for us. But we got a ton of kills out of it. I think I should have gone a little bit more onto the Tinker instead of... I don't know. It's hard to say. It's kind of scary to chase on this hero because, like, if you get out of position, you just die because your HP is so low. But most of their important heroes were dead. I think I could have chased that down, honestly. I'm not sure. But I definitely played that fight very safe. Very, very safe. Maybe safer than I needed to. But I did get to ulti twice. That was cool. I got to ulti on the Rubik, and he died, I think. It was like Rubik plus Tinker. And I also got to ulti on the Clockwork and blow him up the first time. He died so fast. He got stunned from Poison Touch, I think, and he just took the full brunt. So much magic damage. At this point, I might as well go back to base. If your mana pool is this low, it's completely worth it. And I realized, I've got an Invis Rune. Why am I waiting around? I'm just going to have like 500 mana with an Invis Rune. I could use an Invis Rune with full mana. So seeing these opportunities is really good. So I see the opportunity, I go back and heal. I'm going to run about halfway across the map, and then I'm going to use my Invis Rune, and I'm going to go look for a kill. Because I can kill anybody right now. I can use Concussive, Silence, and double ulti some guy if I really want to. And then he's going to take like 2,800 magic damage, which is ridiculous. I think Sven looking for a gank here. That was really nicely done by him. I think he blinked? I can't remember. Yeah, he does have a blink. Definitely worth it to kill the carry there. So I'm going to go look around for somebody to murder. And the jungle is a really good place to do this. This also helps out with my allies because we can move into the jungle. And I'm scouting it out for them so we don't know we're going into a trap. Actually looks like their movement is all the way across the map right now though. I'm sure I saw the rocket, so... And then we got a Rubik with a DD. That's called overkill. That one is definitely overkill. I didn't need to use Mystic Flare. I could have just used like 2 Arcane Bolts and he would have died just the same. But he is dead. Kill secured, guys. Man, Warcry is so nice in this game. 16 armor on this hero is fantastic. His strength gain is pretty bad as well, but you usually buy a lot of HP increasing items. Even Ghost Scepter is not bad in this case. The reason I bought Ghost Scepter is because if I ever get caught out against Solo Sniper, I'm just gonna die. But if I use Ghost Scepter, at the very least, I won't take that damage. Alright, so going for the tower. Rubik is still dead. They apparently don't feel comfortable going in. Just gonna bottle him up a little bit. It's pretty fun to bottle during fights and stuff like that. It's really good. It's very easy to bottle now. It's a little difficult mechanically, but it's not. I mean, it's not that bad. But it's really nice to do it for your allies. Sometimes those little bursts, especially early game on supports and stuff, if you can give them a bottle charge when they're sitting at about like the danger zone of 40% HP or something, if you can give them one bottle charge, it'll put them up to 60, and then they feel comfortable staying on the map and not going back to base, stuff like that. It really helps them. But I guess we're going to turn this into a push now. We're pretty farmed. My mana pool is getting back up there as well, so can almost do all my combos again. I think everybody has a lot of arcanes, so I think that's why it's okay. I think I was considering selling my bottle at this point, start working on my next item. I think I wanted to go for I ended up going for a Bloodstone. It's a bit of a weird item build. You may see it as like a troll item or something, but what it basically does is gives me a huge amount of mana pool. And that's kind of nice in this case because it allows me to Mystic Flare more often. And that's what I'm basically aiming to do. So now we're just kind of looking for opportunities. 4 staff on that guy to get him out of there. I just wanted to wait a bit until that was mostly over to cast. It's a little off in my flare there, but it worked out. I think the major mistake I made here I'm completely out of mana, by the way, so I didn't really feel it was that necessary to be here in this case. I'm just going to disassemble and make... There we go. Oh god, I whiffed the concussive here. That was kind of frustrating. So, really easy to pick him up there. Definitely worth it to silence over Arcane Bolt a couple more times, that's for sure. And now that I'm completely out of mana, it's time to go back to base. So, yeah, the other nice thing about Soul Booster, as you guys saw against the Clockwork, my HP is so high now that at least if I take some of the Blade Mail damage, it's not the worst thing ever. I'll happily change or exchange like, I don't know, 800 HP for a kill sometimes. When I have 2,200 HP, it's not a big deal. Most of my HP is kind of empty anyways. It's not like I'm a hyper tanky hero. I'm basically like a hero that's fairly squishy with a ton of HP. And this is perfect for blade mails because it makes your gold very cost efficient. If all I'm buying is HP items, but I don't have good magic resistance and I don't have good armor, and I'm reflecting blade mail, it's actually not that bad of a trade. But if you're like a bristleback or something with like a vanguard and a hood, then all of a sudden, and like a plate mail, then all of a sudden this pure damage that you're taking is massively more estimated HP. So against me, it's not that big of a deal. And I just wanted to wait a bit to nuke because I didn't want the full blade mail duration. Maybe I still ate the full blade mail duration, but that's why I hesitated, at least in this case. But with the soul booster here, I just want to finish my bloodstone, and when I get bloodstone, then I basically like more than double my mana regen. And every kill that happens around me from there on out, and there will be a lot of kills considering my ulti will give me further and further mana regen, which will be really nice. So I think I had the mana now, but the team was like, we gotta smoke, we gotta smoke. So they were calling for smoke, and I had to like go to them, and then I kind of ditched them anyways to get the blood mail, or the bloodstone. That's it. They're like, come on dude, we're smoking. Boy, did they take forever. But I had to get it, dude. It's a freaking bloodstone. My mana's not even maxed out. There it is, bloodstone. So I went from about 10 mana regen to about 23, which is a huge increase. I also have the ability to sacrifice myself. I get 10 damage. It's so good, dudes. Oh wow, we like barely got escape. They spotted us there. I think, did they have a ward? Yeah, they actually had a ward. So as soon as we broke smoke there, they were able to escape. So that was a bit unfortunate, but still gonna be okay, I think. So yeah, I could have made a sheep stick instead of a bloodstone. That may have been a better item, or maybe some kind of more offensive item. But it does allow me the benefit of having tons of HP regen now. And man, he like misses a lot of hooks. Gives me a lot of HP regen and a ridiculous amount of mana regen. So.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Keep in mind the sniper has a BKB now, so I can't just easily blow him up. He had that in the last fight, and it kind of forces me to stand around and wait for it to run out. I really wanted to kill the Tinker too. I know he's an easy kill. All we need is to set up, wait till he TP's in, and then like Wave of Terror. If I had a blink, I could get a Blink Dagger as well. That'd be another okay item on Skywrath, because it'd allow me a lot more offensive selection. I can blink in and then combo somebody rather than being forced to just force staff. So I think we were waiting for Roche or something. I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but I felt like we were wasting. And then they were like, oh, they started pinging mid, so I canceled my TP. I don't know. This was not worth it though. There's a lot of creeps hitting the top tower. There's a lot of creeps hitting the bot tower. We could be farming all of those, and we're doing like the slowest push ever. Like they got a tower out of that. That was not acceptable. I should have TP'd. Like once the smoke broke in the first place, there was no reason for us to stand around so long. We should have escaped, because then we lose the moment of surprise, and we could be getting CS. We technically limited their CS because of this, but it's still not worth it. Actually, got a lot of those. It's good. There's some action going on top that I should be watching. I guess I didn't have a TP anyways, but I should still look. They are now taking Roshan, which will be late for. I think at this point we called for Roshan. Oh, they're Roshan, they're Roshan. So we started with heading over here. I think it looks like we're taking the fight anyways. So he BKB'd really early. I just gotta wait for that. One death. Alright, all worked out pretty good. So yeah, just used my ulti to secure kills, basically. Used it on the axe when he was standing still. I think I hesitated a bit too long in that moment. I think I should have cast it earlier, watching the replay now. I waited, like, I let the concussive hit him, and then I sat there for like half a second being like, should I ulti this? And then I ultied it. The ulti on the sniper was pretty good. It caught 2 heroes, so definitely split the damage evenly. And look at the mana regen right now. Like, instead of having to go to base, I'm still here. And I'm going to be full mana very soon. It's really nice.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Missed my first one. Throw a second. Yeah, that was bad. My first one was pretty off, but... They always have a ward there. Damn. I could have Bloodstoned suicide that I could have suicide that really easily. I knew the missile was coming. I was Ghost Scepter and I was probably gonna die, but I definitely stuck that one out too long. That's my fault. Svenge wants a kill. What a miss. What an outplay. Oh, he actually blinked away. Maybe he survived? Looks like he got spotted. Ooh, that was close. He actually escaped there. Well done by him. So, I bought Boots of Travel at this point. This is probably not the right purchase to make, because there's almost always better items that you can get. But on the right side, this allows me to TP where ganks are happening. Not that it's like way past that point in the game. It does give me 50 movement speed, I guess. That's pretty cool. That part's nice. And it also opens up an item slot that I can get something else. So it's probably not worth it though. If I was playing really serious here, I would have probably gotten... I think the Ghost Scepter was okay. Not that I got to use it much this game. I still... Maybe the Ghost Scepter was a mistake after all, but... Ghost Scepter I think was okay-ish. I think the Aghanim's Force was great. I think I would have skipped Bloodstone and I would have gone Hex instead if I was really playing seriously, because it's a huge counter against the Tinker. If I can just Hex the Tinker first, then I guarantee kill him. It's also like a really good slow setup. I don't need to use Concussive Shot to kill somebody. I can Hex somebody, ulti them with Ancient Seal, they will die. It's like if you're hexed, I think your movement speed is 100 or something. So it's pretty much the same as, you know, any other max slow. And now we will ulti the Tinker, and a really easy kill there. Luckily for me, he did this thing where he like stopped moving, but he realized he was dead at that point. He had already blinked in. So I just slowed, silenced him. At that point, he had no escape. I don't know if he had a Force Staff or not, but he just got his Hex too. So yeah, he didn't have a Force Staff. It's maybe a bit greedy. I think that's actually really greedy. Against a Skywrath, that's super greedy. Because if I ever, in the course of the game, catch him in a silence with an ulti, he will die. Because he can't Force Staff out of it. I think that lack of Force Staff on the Tinker was like obscenely greedy. I don't know if any of their guys had Force Staffs. They had one Force Staff on their whole team. And that's like the best counter against Skywrath. Like if anybody in your team has a Force Staff, or 2 people have a Force Staff, whoever Skywrath ultis, you force him out, and he takes away less damage. So I think they could have done way more to like slow my abilities to like stomp this game, but they didn't really do it for some reason. So weird, I guess. I'm sitting really far back here because I was worried about the Tinker initiating on me for whatever reason. I definitely have the biggest damage output on the team, so letting people initiate on me is not necessarily... I wasn't sure that he was going to die in time, so I ulted it twice. Because my reaction was kind of slow here. Oh, it was pretty bad ulti, but still worked out. Like, it's so nice having this much mana regen. I just ultied so often. It was like 3 ultis. Luckily the axe is not the best. Don't even care about blade mail, guys. Doesn't matter. I think I was trying to buy something quick. Can't remember. What did I even buy?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh yeah. Ethereal Blade. I really wanted to E-Blade somebody. This combo is really sick, actually. First of all, it gives me a ton of agility, which is armor that I didn't have before.
Dire's middle
But most importantly, it slows people. So I could use it to slow and then ulti them. It would be like the sick combo. That's actually the, I think, I dare say, the correct item in this case. Again, I still don't have a sheep, but if I'm snowballing and I really want to increase my kill potential, I could just E-Blade one guy and Mystic seal him, the silence, and then ulti him once and pretty much would kill anybody, because that's going to do, it does bonus damage from the E-Blade, it does bonus damage from the seal, and then it would do a ridiculous amount of magic damage. So that was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a lot, but I think Skywrath Mage is really good right now. You got to learn how to counter him. I think the team I played against didn't do a good job, and luckily I got a bunch of kills, partially due to the Vengeful Spirit roaming, and it allowed me to snowball pretty nicely and put me into a good spot. So I think that's about it I have to say today. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. Again, we're playing in the TI qualifiers really soon. They're in like a week or a week and a half. It's like 10 days. So we're basically practicing a ton to prepare for that, and it's I'm gonna really scale back on YouTube and streaming until then, because obviously this is the most important thing for us right now. And after the TI qualifiers, it'll be a lot more reduced, and should be able to make more content then. So thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it, and thanks for staying tuned despite me being so busy. Another quick heads up, if you guys weren't paying attention to the last video I put out, our Team Zephyr shirts are for sale, so if you guys want to get a hold of one of those, you can at Team Liquid. I'll put the link down below, and you guys can go buy those if you're interested. It's only in the NA store, but you guys can ship those internationally, I think. I'm pretty sure. I know they ship to Southeast Asia. I'm not so sure about EU, but I assume that it does work. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.